Andy's putting jock straps on his big gym dolls and hooking them up to car batteries, trying to fucking make them look exciting. Big Jim. Big Jim.
Yeah, I don't remember playing with those guys after I came back from California much.
Not.
Yeah, they lost their joy.
Really?
You know, it's like, wait, I'm just gonna take their pants off and then what?
I don't. Well, you were probably like, I can't do it. I don't have $100 to give each of them.
You each get 100,
This is wiping me out.
and Big Jack, you get 75.
Gentlemen, evening.
Hello.
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 Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Slouching down.
It's cooler. We're not going into the heat of the day.
Nice.
We're over the heat of the day. We've got some things done. I'm drinking a nice Merlot suggested by Big Joe over at the liquor store. A Coppola blend.
I've been working hard on my tanning.
What? Animal hides?
I was like painting, and then I got sick. I worked too hard, like a man does.
Where's your
When
mic?
I'm a man, just
Yeah.
works
So
too
hold
hard.
on. Hold on. Stop, Andy. We can't continue down this road because we'll just cancel it if this is a
Yeah.
problem. Where is your microphone, and who is
What?
your daddy?
What do you mean?
Okay, there you go.
Oh,
See
there we
now,
go.
now you did something, and then all of a sudden we all perked up. So maybe you need to keep doing what you're doing.
Jesus.
Oh,
this
he's
thing-
touching it.
Oh,
He's
it's
touching
buzzing.
it.
I hear
It
it
feels like
buzzing.
I'm
Yep.
tuning a radio from the 50s.
Yep, it sure does.
Are you guys there?
Yeah,
All right. You hear me?
we can.
Philco presents the Andy Andrist Hour.
Borax. I'm the old ranger, and I got stories of Death Valley.
Tonight on the show, Topo Gijo. But first, issues with Andy.
They're the truth. I swear it.
You'll wonder where the yellow went when you brush your teeth with Pepsodent.
Andy, I'm going to send you a microphone.
Okay. Yeah, this one I don't think I can protect it anymore. I'm out of
Stop
tape.
touching it. Stop touching it.
Uh-huh.
See, I can't even see his hands, but I can tell he's touching it.
Yeah.
Buzzes.
I had some technical problems, and I've been sick, so I didn't get out here and do my thing. I got
So,
sick after
are
the
you
last.
saying that the microphone caught a cold from
No,
you?
but I just I got sick after the last podcast because I was working hard like a man, and I got dehydrated for a couple of days, and I wasn't feeling that good. But I still drank a bottle of champagne because I didn't want to, I play through it, as they say. And then I got kind of an infection, and I laid around thinking I might have COVID for a day and a half. And then I was like, fuck it. If I have COVID, at least I want to go to the hospital with a decent tan. So
Did
that's
you
what I
just
did.
say you got an infection from doing issues with Andy? What the fuck did we do?
No, it's just it was I was dehydrated, and then I drank. It's the same thing I always, when it happens, that's what, it's a recipe. Which
So
I
when
tried to
you're
remember when I had a
dehydrated and then you
fever.
drink champagne is a way to get an infection. It sounds
You
like
know what an
it's like
infection
hey,
is,
I think
Andy?
you got VD from the tractor seat, Marlene, not from me.
That's- Hey, you can't swim in pools with boys. You'll get pregnant and you'll get some sort of STD.
I
Oh
waited-
shoot! I had diarrhea and I went in that pool. Everyone's got VD now.
I had diarrhea 2 weeks ago.
I wish I had diarrhea. That would be a nice change of pace.
Oh, the sweet release of diarrhea.
Yeah, I've been eating beans. Like I switched to raw food and beans and stuff to get better. But when you finally get past that, okay, I'm gonna push on through. I don't know if this fart's gonna be a fart or a fucking change of clothing
Is
situation.
this still the infection thing?
Yeah,
Or are
yeah,
we
well,
going down
you need a-
Andy's medical
I
history
don't know.
road?
A fecal
I-
transplant.
Yeah.
I almost put up a Twitter poll today, Andy, asking if you had diarrhea all day, should you drink whiskey or vodka? But I thought maybe it didn't matter.
I go vodka. The advantage,
What
so
I
like
did.
I mean, like, I don't think my neighbors pay that much attention, so I've been fairly nude out here. And then when you kind of like,
I think you'd be shocked if you saw how much they pay attention to you.
yeah. And anyway,
Don't
it's
even
like,
ask because you don't
Yeah.
want to know.
yeah, as long as they kick me $5 a month,
Come on, man.
they can get that extra
That's how they
content from
keep
their
tabs
guests.
on Andy. They find out what he's doing
Yeah.
by being a Patreon member.
They find out what he was doing 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Wait,
But-
what's the purpose of being naked? Just so you can shit in the yard? I want to hear the rest
No,
of this
well,
story.
I was like, I had a stomach cramp, so a lot of false alarms on the toilet where I would shit water, basically a little water, and then it was like, I'm not. Eventually, your ass gets a little tired from the excessive wiping, as Brett knows this. And so
why does Brett know this?
you have the
Is he a
bidet.
proctologist?
You
Yeah,
know
you need a
that having
bidet.
a wet
You gotta
asshole.
have a bidet.
And you
can't
have
clean
a bidet.
You
Brett
can't
has
clean
one.
a dry
Chad, you have
asshole.
one?
Yeah.
No, I do.
So Chad's got a bidet. Andy, do you have a bidet?
I have a long hose, and I leave it in the sun on. So I come out.
Okay, so yeah,
Uh,
so I'm
An
gonna
An
put you as a
outdoor
yes.
bidet.
So I just kind of walk
AKA
out.
a hose.
Yeah, so then it would be like 70, 80 degrees, and I would do an ass blast, and it's like, it's like really refreshing, and I'm probably going, woo! And if there's neighbors watching, try it. Try it, you'll see. But you set your hose out, and it's like, and then I've just been showering out there, too.
You got like a 50-foot black
But
rubber hose.
I had such bad gas, and I had to just push through, and the first one, it cracked, and it felt like a fucking knife was pulled out of my asshole. It's like, you ever get those, like, it's so painful and fucking side aching, but it made so much noise, and then it was followed by a bunch of fucking, it was like, yeah, man. And then it's like, I realized I don't have anybody to share this with in life.
We're glad to have this
I mean,
show.
yeah, you guys now a few days later, but it's like, where was somebody went? Did you hear that? No, it wasn't a transformer. Come up here and smell. It weren't no transformer.
I think the electric is arcing on the pole outside.
I mean, I saw a blue spark, but I don't know if did you?
Yeah,
It smells like
Rude
it.
to ask her.
It
So I
smells
think
like it's
I'm
about to
getting better.
rain.
It smells like I'm improving.
Electricity and wet asphalt.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. What is that? Did you eat a battery, Andy?
I think I'll be part of the Airbnb experience from here on out. I'll be like, I'm not staying down in the other space. I'm just out here living. You go, yeah. You
Slowly
live,
making the move to being homeless.
yeah, but kind of, huh?
Nice out.
Like homeless with a fucking
yeah.
face,
It's like someone who asks what it's like to live in Alaska. I go, oh, it's great. I think I'm going to move there. Oh, okay. So when I said great, I meant visit. Spend some time in the winter out there where you have a car that you're responsible for and pay insurance on. And then you'll realize it's pretty fucked up. And if you're into that, and if you like to telemark and do all the outdoor stuff, then you trade it off. But Andy, you're like living in your backyard right now. It looks like living at a nursery. You got a plant nursery. Everything's nice and green and everything's great. But you're in Oregon.
Yeah, I'm watching. I'm literally
that
laid there.
changes on a dime.
Yeah, I laid there for 2 days watching my weed plants grow. The belly ache, hose in my asshole, and smoking weed. I'm thinking, I don't know if I'm ever going to get the
your
paint in
neighbors
this
know
house.
what's happening.
Are you telling the plants they're your only hope? Like, come on, boys, grow. I need you.
He has
Yeah,
a fever
you can-
dream where he's talking to his plants and he wakes up. He's got a hose up his ass. All the plants are wilted because he's
Yeah, I know
taking all the
there's
water.
I know there's a rose bush I unloaded like stomach bile on, and it perked up, and it was like, wow, look at this rose.
What's your secret?
Yeah.
Better Homes and Gardens. That's what they'll tell you. Bile is really good for the nitrogen.
Well,
content.
when you've thrown up for a couple of days, push on through and drink some vodka, and then head to the rose bush. That's the secret.
Oh my God! All right, yeah. I was just gonna ask you, Andy, if you could aim your camera down a tiny bit. That's maybe a little too. That's perfect, I think. As soon as you start slouching again.
Yeah, well, then I got to get to the mic, and then Gary Busey fell over back there.
Oh man, it's the
nice.
whole thing. That's a good shot right there. That looks good. I like what I'm seeing.
Beautiful. It looks great.
I like it.
I started following on Twitter a Twitter account called Room Raider, and it's just like I don't know what it's, a bot account or something. It's got to have somebody running it, I guess, but it's just an account that reviews the background on your Zoom meeting or Skype call, and they give you they tell you how to improve it and what you need to do, lighten it up, maybe a splash of color. So I started following them, hoping that they'll reciprocate, and maybe we'll get our show rated for back.
If that's the case, I'm going to go to my apartment. Hold on.
Let me run up there and get Jerry.
I don't want to get a bad rating.
They wouldn't care for that. They really like bookshelves. It makes.
Oh, here, I'll go to my office. Go to my office.
There. Oh, I think you'd
Park
do fine
Avenue.
with that one.
Yeah.
I think that one's going to do pretty good.
Chad's at Elmo's.
I'm going to the bar.
Chad's definitely violating the
All I can
COVID
do is set
restrictions.
All I can do is set Gary.
No, there's nobody here. It's just me. I'm the only one at this bar.
The bar's closed. Hey, guys, really quick. I got to run over to the other office. I'll be right back. Okay, here I am. I'm at my other office.
Wayfair ad. Got them kid cabinets.
Look
huh?
Yeah, you can definitely see there's definitely a kid in that yellow footstool back there for sure.
Well, yeah, I had to clean up really
good
quick
size.
because I knew it was happening.
I almost missed out on a couple of things. I still don't exactly know what this bean thing is, and I don't really care.
I can tell you the bean thing.
It's
not. No. The president, the CEO of Goya, the bean company that is Hispanic owned, met with Trump and blew a bunch of smoke up his ass about how he's
It was like a press conference at the Rose Garden.
A great man and a great
deal.
builder, and we're lucky to have him. And then, a bunch of Hispanic people said, "Yeah, but he doesn't like us." And then they started to
have you read
boycott.
A newspaper?
And then of course, then there's the right's reaction to they're trying to cancel Goya, and so
yeah.
Now Trump's getting his picture taken with fucking cans of beans on his desk.
Yeah,
like a
fucking
dipshit.
Yeah, man, it's like if you just took away the title and you just experienced that behavior from somebody, would you not fucking? Almost every person in this fucking planet would take a fucking, fucking do something about it. They wouldn't just sit there and go, wow, this guy's just fucking keeping it up. That's hilarious.
I mean, he's nothing if not tenacious.
I just thought he was fishing for a new gig since he's about to lose the one he's got. I thought maybe I could be a bean spokesman.
Well,
a little bit.
It actually fits with their new initiative, because I don't know if you guys saw this, but Ivanka's new campaign. Did you see this?
I'm so glad. Yeah.
Don't call me a whore.
I'm so glad you're saying this. Yeah.
I mean, again, I know we risk it starting getting political right off the bat, but I was so floored by this. She started a new campaign for all the American people called "Find Something New."
Oh yeah,
and that's their advice for your job difficulties is go out and find something new. Like, that's very helpful.
That doesn't.
Fucking cunt.
Yeah,
find something new. It's basically they're like, meh, sorry.
Maybe.
Wait, that's a states thing. That's a you thing. That's not a me thing. That's a you thing.
Yeah. I didn't remember Pollyanna having a sexual relationship with her dad, but I didn't watch the whole movie. Yeah, she's probably not the one to give us fucking advice on things, like,
Could you imagine how mad? Can you imagine how mad he is at all of his kids? Because I just read that article last week where I think it was Don Jr. tweeted a picture with Clinton with that Ghislaine Maxwell at his daughter's wedding, and he's like, look at these fucking trash, hangs out with trash, and then everybody just responded with pictures, and he had to delete the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh fuck, that went bad. How do you not know that's gonna happen?
He called out Hunter
How are you
Biden.
how do you not have the awareness in the level of like celebrity that you're at, that when you throw something like that out there, that just the bogus ones or the photoshopped ones, but the real ones is just an avalanche.
Oh man!
all of that is part of why I don't want to talk about politics, because I feel like I'm getting punked at the end. They'll be like, "You fell for it. You thought we were." I'm like, "No, God damn it, I did too. I thought you were really doing that."
The best thing is going to be what's going to happen after, because I mean this is only till November. But when she, like, as a representative of the White House, when she held up a product.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then
that is illegal.
Violates ethics.
That
well,
is
then the president doubled
violation.
down with it with fucking like 9 products on the Oval
he
Office
might as well. He might as well.
They don't care.
I'm really glad this went this way, because I read a lot of political articles in the last week, and I just wanted to come in hot and talk nothing but politics. Until you guys make me stop and tell me to shut up.
Hey,
I'm gonna just
Chad, what do you think Biden's chances are in Texas? He's only down by 2 points there in Texas.
I think that Texas might be, whenever the president tweets things like silent majority, I think Texas might be one of the places where he's accurate. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Every time I saw that opening a Little House on the Prairie, didn't you want to just run down a hillside in a dress like that? Like half a pint?
Hold on. Wait. I didn't hear that second part.
Yeah, run down the hill, and it's like
in a dress.
I'm with you. I want a prairie dress on. I want a long.
Not like a trollop or anything.
I want a long. I want a long prairie dress and a nice hill.
Yeah,
I'm for it.
And then that dog.
I did start watching season 9.
Oh yeah.
It's a depressing fucking show.
It is the fucking worst writing in the world, and it is not the Little House on the Prairie. It's Little House: A New Beginning, because they kicked out of the regular show because of flat. Okay, guys, I went on a deep dive here. I spent 6 hours watching Little House on the Prairie the other day, and this is the deal. They retooled for after season 8 because they were losing. They were losing viewership, and Michael Landon and the mom kicked out. Michael Landon stayed on as an EP, and he directed and he wrote, but he was not in the scenes. And Andy, your recollection about the blowing up, well, totally spot on, and everyone talking about it on in Patreon and on Twitter are like, I never remember that. It was the 3rd movie after the series ended.
Really?
The series ended with Wild Boy's dad coming back and scooping him up. That was the end of season 9.
Wow.
And then
so they must have known they were already doing the movies then at that point, because
this is
Wild Boy, the Wild Boy can't be just like their actual well, this is the end.
I think it was like Deadwood, where they go, no, we have another season.
Wrap it up.
And then they go like, no, we're pulling the plug, and they're like, what the fuck? Wild Boy, like that wasn't supposed to be
end on Wild Boy.
Can't end on Wild Boy. That was a softball.
You think Michael Landon probably said so, like Teen Wolf? Teen Wolf, sure. Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. So for the people out there who are not Patreon subscribers, first of all, why you should be?
My God.
Do it. It's totally worth it. But we went down the rabbit hole in last episode of the final season of Little House, in which they ended it all by literally blowing up the fucking town of Walnut Creek, and it still blows my mind that happened.
You show up there now in Walnut Creek, Minnesota. There's just a creek. That's it.
The walnuts are gone.
No fucking people, no trees.
It was actually I was in California, and it's some ranch. I think it's in Simi Valley or something like that. But it is a thing where all of those structures, they fucking blew the shit out of everything. And in that movie, the movie is the end of the franchise. Like I told you before, when the Cartwrights hung up the old fucking lariats and stopped doing the Bonanza thing, they continued to have their sets up in Carson City as a destination. You would go there and you could spend the day walking through, and they had recreations, and gunfight and all this shit. Exactly. And they had exit through the gift shop, because I still got my mug. But Little House on the Prairie, they blew their shit. It's a private ranch that they, like on MASH, they had someone's ranch that they were filming on. And that was a thing. I mean, it still is. I mean, they do a lot of productions off-site, on location, and they blew up. There's nothing left of anything from Little House, because I found a guy on YouTube who went out and took pictures of like, these are the trees, and then he superimposed the blacksmith shop underneath it. There's
where the
nothing.
shit used to be.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They gentrified
But that was the franchise killer. Was the end when they blew up everything. The end of the seasons, the regular 9 seasons, it's 22 episodes, and it was basically hello and goodbye, which Mr. Edwards loses the boy.
Wait.
Which I understand why Andy connected.
Mr. Ed, don't get me started on Mr. Edwards, that misogynistic bastard.
Yeah.
Well, wait
Oh
a
my
minute.
God.
Fucking Trump voter.
So when
Old man Tucker.
when did he accidentally adopt an orangutan that he was trying to murder?
I think
Was
that's
that before that?
No, it was after Wild Boy. So Wild Boy was
During
still
one of the
around,
movies.
and it's the something Blanche was the name of the episode. And he's going from another town to back to Walnut Creek, and he's got a load of supplies, and he stops by this guy's campfire, and as he's at the campfire, he's talking to this guy, and this guy's a fucking asshole to him. Turns out it's Buffalo Bill, but then this guy doesn't believe that he's Isaiah fucking Edwards. And it's like it's like, just fucking shoot the guy or fucking leave. But he ends up staying there for 4 hours with him, and then he goes, you know what? I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go water the horses. I'll be back. He comes back, and the guy's like dead. Right? He's dying, dies in his arms, and he goes, just don't let Blanche see me. And Blanche is asleep in the covered wagon, and then he goes in there, and it's an orangutan. An orangutan that like is
the guy's biggest worry was that Blanche was gonna see him dead. It was gonna traumatize the orangutan.
Buffalo Bill died. This is Buffalo Bill who died.
Well, that's what the guy said, but he was such a dick. He's just a guy who calls himself Buffalo Bill.
Well, it sounds to me like they're just reusing plot lines, because I only watched the first 2-parter and the whole thing is about the guy, don't let my daughter know that I'm dying. They're just using the same fucking story over and over. They just said, let's throw in a monkey. I don't know.
It seems like that's a trend. I mean, it's like, don't let my daughter see me dying. Don't let anybody else use the town. Blow it the fuck up. It's like,
hold on,
none of these people are dealing directly with their problems.
I think by season 8, I started fake crying.
During
the
show or during your life.
There's always a part, and then they would turn that music, and that's when you knew it was okay to stifle a tear.
1983, that's kind of ripe for that Bobby Barcini orangutans, Any Which Way But Loose, Every Which Way You Can.
Yeah.
The Bobby Barcini had a show in Vegas, and the orangutan thing fits in with like some fucking writer going, hey, what if we do a switch and and then honestly, an orangutan in Kansas
Minnesota?
or wherever, Minnesota,
It's probably like the orangutan. Like when I was working on the Man Show, I was at a coffee shop, and some industry yapping broad to ask me what I did, and I told her, and then I ended up fucking sitting there talking to her, and she pitched having Steven Seagal on the Man Show, and she said I could get him really cheap, so I actually pitched him on the Man Show. And that's probably what the orangutan, he just going set to set, going, hey, you writers,
someone had a line on it. Yeah.
The orangutan will be here on Tuesday. Have something written.
Yeah. And it turns out the orangutan was way cooler than Steven Seagal. That's what people said. No, you don't want Steven Seagal on here. He's a fucking asshole. So that's when we got Ron Jeremy. It was for
a good guy like Ron Jeremy.
It was
somebody easy to work with.
And the other guy we had in this bit was Lou Ferrigno, and it was a bit called Name That Ass Crack.
I remember that.
Right. So you'd get clues, you'd see their ass crack, and then you'd get clues as to who they were. Like,
I remember that bit.
Yeah, I said hello to Lou Ferrigno, and when he said hello back, it was a memory. I can't.
Yeah,
I
could
don't want
tell
to
it
do
was
an
Lou.
impression because we don't need any hate mail. But
So this is Buffalo Bill right here.
yeah, on the Little House. Yeah, that's actually him. That's him.
In real life?
That checks out.
I saw that on Death Valley days. That's him.
I told Jenny we have grandkids over, and I told Jenny, I go, hey, I'm doing homework for the podcast. I said, Little House on the Prairie is okay to watch in front of the kids, huh? And she's like,
Absolutely.
oh yeah, absolutely. I made it through an episode and a half, and she goes, hey, maybe let's fucking put something else on. It's a little bit dark. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's probably why I still hung
here's
with
Shannon Doherty with Blanche, the chimp, and
Yeah.
Shannon Doherty was the character they added in episode 1 of season 9.
Oh,
and
that's
Shannon
Jenny.
Doherty.
Did she get? Didn't she Me Too that
Yeah, I
age?
think Jenny or Janet or something. Yeah,
Jenny. No,
little-
that's Jenny. That's the little girl whose dad died.
Oh, yeah.
I just fucking
Yeah,
watched
yeah,
it.
yeah. She wanted to kill herself.
Yeah.
She
yeah.
well, she wanted to join Mother. She probably didn't
She
use.
thought
the
it was
term
her
kill
fault
myself.
that she killed her dad.
Oh my god.
But she was
Yeah.
the addition to the season, and then all these things because I watched like 5 or 6 episodes, and I watched.
Yeah, but
5
Shaylee, I've
episodes.
seen you watch TV and you sleep on and off through everything you watch. So
Hey, I've given you the
you
gist
do
of it.
seem. I get that you're. I
I
get
I
it,
answer
Oh,
but I'm
trivia
just saying-
questions
so-
while I'm asleep, Erickson. So I mean, there is that too.
True.
You got to paint. You got to paint the full
That's
picture.
what I said. No, it's in and out. It's not like you dip all the way out, but you can be
And I was
talking.
So
We can be
hungover
talking
watching
to you,
you.
and then all of a sudden you're snoring, and then all of a sudden you're talking again.
I'm not sleeping with my sign.
I'll get the podcast out tomorrow, Doug.
Oh, there's plenty of those. There's plenty of those. So this is the thing, though. When like this episode, and then they go into these other like the Wild Boy one. It was it was a medicine show that the kid was a part of, and there was morphine. Doc. What was the doctor's name?
Yeah.
What was it? Do you
Doc
remember the
Baker.
Doc Baker.
Doc
It's
Baker,
like,
yeah.
oh, yep, he's got morphinism.
Morphinism.
I think it's-
He called it.
I get it.
I think his
Yeah,
proper
it's a tough
name was Hiram Baker. I don't
Yeah.
know why I said that way.
But Doc Baker diagnosed him as having morphinism, and he gave Mr. Edwards a little tincture, and then that cured him. But yeah, it was a weird thing because the guy who came back, I guess he fell on hard times, and then him and his wife, I think they were strung out or whatever, and they gave up the kid to a workhouse. So it wasn't a kind of a like. It ended up the workhouse is the one that put him out to work on a farm, and then they gave the kid lye because whatever the farmer
Jesus
like
Christ.
forced. This is how dark it was.
I know. It's like
Wild
Ed
Boy
Gein.
can't talk because he's mute. And the reason he can't talk is because when his parents were too strung out, they gave him to a fucking orphanage. The orphanage hired him out to a fucking farmer who beat him while he worked, but he didn't work enough. So so when they beat him, they didn't want him to talk about it. So they forced lye down his throat to ruin his vocal cords, and they kicked him out back to the workhouse. But he couldn't tell them why he was beaten and why he couldn't talk.
Yeah.
And then the medicine man is Doc McGee with his medicine. He is the guy who put him in the cage and then
Jesus
fed him on
Christ.
his medicine. His snake oil had morphine in it.
Yeah.
With-
And clearly the Indians were the problem out on the prairie, right?
Yeah.
Clearly that
the
was
white man
ridiculous.
had all this
Yeah,
compassion.
yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, I forgot how fucking creepy that show was.
Oh man. yeah.
That's
And
a
that's
lot
part-
to take
you know,
in as a teenage
oh.
girl.
Yeah.
Like all
Yeah,
of that.
I don't think they addressed homosexuality, but I know they had a father who raped his daughter on there. I forget that one that it was like it's good that town burnt.
I guess,
if
man.
that town hadn't
Like a
burnt, some of the
Stephen
shit
King
we're
book.
finding out now, would you
Yeah.
fucking, I'd be like, let's burn down Walnut Creek, and people are like, you can't do that. It's a fucking wholesome place.
Yeah.
Bullshit, man. There's a bunch of pedophiles, and they got a fucking network of fucking kids underneath Doc
Yeah.
Baker's
Basement of their
store.
pizza place.
Yeah, no, Doc Baker's not the store owner. It was fucking Nels. God damn it.
Yeah, it's this
Nels.
guy on the screen right now.
Yeah, Nels was
This-
basically he was Mr. Furley and
yeah.
married with children.
Well, he was.
Never
Yeah,
gonna
he
found
was.
that.
Yeah, he was the browbeaten guy by his
Mhm.
the big, bossy bitch that smacked him
Yeah.
around.
You never saw too many
Harriet.
of those.
Harriet was her name.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Not a lot of
Crazy.
character
Nellie's
actors
mom.
from that show. Like, all those guys, you don't see them a whole lot in any other shit,
Oh, Michael Landon probably had them all murdered. He didn't want anything left of Little House on the Prairie when it was done. It was like, that's it.
Oh.
You're finished.
No, he didn't want his ex-wife's getting anything. Fucking, I ain't giving them no alimony, and I'm blowing up Walnut Creek so they can't fucking make any money off a tourist.
I did notice that they have they just redid, the new guy in season 9 has that floppy Michael Landon hairdo.
They bought the house. They bought the house from Charles and his wife. Because Charles went. Get this. Charles went to the big city
Ohio.
to be a haberdasher. He was selling suits in the big
Oh.
city.
So they did have homosexuality on Little House on
They
the Prairie.
touched it.
Yeah.
So here's where they totally fucking they jumped the prairie on this one. Here's a character they introduced late in season 9, Mr. Montague, which is basically Mr. Belvedere. That they like an English guy who's a doctor, who's an author, who's an accomplished guy, who's a know-it-all,
He's a dandy.
total dandy. And this is the thing: is they introduced this guy, and they didn't really hit the peak with him, and then the season and the show was over. I think that this is a evidence that they didn't know that was going to happen because they introduced this guy, which is a whole different thing. Because he was the guy who not only knew the right way to do everything, but like told him to his face, like, oh, like, you know everything. Absolutely, I do. And it's like Hennigan. It's like dealing with Hennigan on a daily basis.
Well, I can see why they canceled the show then.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That, and I think Nellie married a Jew.
Nellie came back in season 9, by the way.
Yeah, with a Jew.
Nellie was gone a while ago, and they brought in another girl
Well,
who Nancy.
Yeah.
Just
Just
like
as
her,
cunty.
Yeah, I used to think
All
that
right,
would be
I'm
a
ready
great-
to talk politics again, guys. I don't know. This fucking Little House on the Prairie is fucking me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't watch it. No one watch it. It's not worth watching because it's frustrating at how bad it is. Remember, live in your memories because it's way better.
Vote for Nellie 1. Don't vote for Nellie 2.
Yeah.
Nellie 2 doesn't
Oh,
care
that'd be a good Twitter poll. Nellie 1 or Nellie 2?
I didn't realize until you said, Shaylee, that was Shannon Doherty, but they've made her look like the fucking other young girl. Like I said, they just cloned. They just
Like
dropped in
Peanut,
clones.
yeah. She
for
was the
Yeah,
big
they were
everybody.
always adopting kids too. They were like,
Yeah.
these
See,
ones are, little groomer on the prairie. Like,
I wanted to get a soundbite of when Mr. Edwards basically figured out that he was going to get the wild boy to come home with him. He goes, "Looks like it's me and you, partner, for a while." And I'm like, that sounds like from Andy's.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like he hands him a tracksuit. Looks like me and you for a while. You want to put on this uniform?
Yeah, put on the suit. Unfortunately, I get, it was my own taste though. I mean, because I was like, hey, you just got your dick jerked. You can buy anything you want. And I was like, I want that Adidas sweatsuit.
Yeah, you had style,
checked
dude.
him
You had
out. It
style
wasn't-
at least.
But if he was halfway cool, he would have got matching ones. We could have walked around wearing matching sweatsuits.
Did you
Well,
wonder
walked
that?
around. Walked around's a strong term for him.
Yeah, you could have rolled
Oh,
around.
that's true.
No, he walked with a tilt. He still does.
I just wish you could have been comfortable enough to let him know what you really wanted was a Little House on the Prairie dress.
Yeah.
So you can run down the hill in it.
And the
I'm
hill.
on it.
Yeah. If you'd shut up and let me fucking watch this porno, I'd probably jack off. But I don't need coaching, dude. Shit. If I need coaching, I'll go to football camp. This is supposed to be an informal setting. That's what I didn't care for. It's like,
Nag, nag, nag,
yeah. It's like, you're not good at this.
Honeymoon's over.
Yeah, I guess there weren't YouTube videos back in those days that he could learn how to be a more, like read teen magazine or something. 10 moves to play on your underage boyfriend.
You do the rate your relationship quiz with your fucking 7th grader.
Yeah, rate.
Andy, I don't want to ask like a serious question, but do you ever wonder if he, you were like his learning guy, and then he moved on and did a better job?
Yeah,
of both hiding it and
that guy. That guy. At least one of those guys got a hold of me, and he was a
so
fucking asshole.
There was, so he did have more guys.
I could never figure out if this guy was in story
You
jumping.
talking about the guy from Santa Cruz?
Yeah, I could never
don't say
figure
his
out.
Name. Don't say his name or anything.
I could never figure out if he was legit. It seemed to be that I was like, well, it would line up because I'm, the guy's an alcoholic and fucking calling and threatening people and kind of losing his shit. I can kind of see that as a second date. The rebound guy.
He has a type. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, he was 10 years later, so there had to be some tweeners, I would hope. I mean, geez, if I only, it's not very, not good numbers. There's bad numbers. Jared, those aren't Sandusky. Sandusky's not going to worry about numbers there.
No.
Sandusky's place is cemented in the Hall of Fame, right?
Absolutely.
There with Jeffrey Epstein and I don't know who else you put in there. You don't need to do not Leif Garrett, but Leif Garrett was the bait and switch. Like those magazines appealed to fucking creepy pedophiles, and because I know a certain someone who had a couple of those.
That was the teenage girls, prepubescent.
Yeah, but those were marketed to the dudes too, the old fucking dudes. They could go. So it's just like luscious teenage boys, shirtless, all shit. Did Leif Garrett even have a career?
Well, that's
he had a couple of pop songs, but I could never figure out what that fucking guy did, and I tried. Like, what does Leif Garrett do? Well, and now he fucking killed. And then I found out he killed a guy drunk driving, and
yeah.
He's had a rough go.
Yeah.
But you're totally right about creepy old guys, because there's no way that young girls bought enough magazines to keep Tiger Beat going on their own. They didn't have the disposable income,
Could you imagine the editors? Oh, Jesus Christ. Going to the husband house. Boy.
Oh.
Those were just porn magazines for pedophiles, I think. But I saw that Leif Garrett thing where he met some chick who was a fan, and he was like, all drunk, had already run over that, life was kicked him in the balls.
He killed his best friend.
He killed his best friend. And so, but this was a fan, and it was like, it's like a meet and greet. And he looked at the camera at some point, and I thought, I was like, did I just see Leif Garrett going, I can't believe I'm getting another fame fuck out of this. And this was I think this was before reality TV, where now it's a given,
Yeah.
You get a second run unless you're Screech, you get a second opportunity.
I'm sure Screech does all right.
Screech did okay, and he beat up Horshack. He kicked Horshack's ass.
Uh-huh.
It was a beatdown.
Ron Palillo?
Ron Palillo is a tiny little waif of a person, so that doesn't surprise me.
It's almost sad.
It's unfair. It was unfair to put Dustin Diamond up against him, because even though Screech was the Horshack of the show, he was a much bigger dude by the time he became an adult.
Much taller, 10 to 15, 20 years younger maybe, and much longer arms. Like the tail of the tape was like, this is a setup, Horshack.
Yeah.
He put a rubber
You're not going to be a part of this, are you?
They should have put Screech up against Washington.
No, I think who's the Epstein from
Yeah. Oh no, Washington, the tall black guy. That would have been the guy.
Who was the horse shack of yeah, okay, yeah. I'm thinking of that little the Puerto Rican guy. That would have been Epstein could have probably fucking beat up fucking Screech, even with the advanced age and being smaller. He's just I don't know, but who knows? They're like fucking. You think Greg Brady could kick some ass till you saw him box?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny because like that's what happens with actors because you don't realize how really awful they are at everything until you see them try to do something. I saw a making of Dazed and Confused, and they had to like really work around the kid, the eighth grade kid, Wiley Wiggins, in the scene where he's supposed to be pitching in the baseball game, and then they're going to beat his ass afterwards. But he
protagonist kid.
Yeah. He was pitching, but I mean, he literally he would have had to have worked at it for weeks to get up to throws like a girl. Like he couldn't, he could barely let go of the ball and not have it hit his toes, and he had to be there, like they had to pitch. So like they showed all these like weird camera angles they had to show just to fucking throw a baseball, which should be, you'd think for a boy would be like if you're gonna act like, oh, the baseball part, I can at least, even if I'm no good at it, I can at least throw the ball, and that won't be a difficult.
Yeah, they don't have to film where it lands. Right, I can throw it.
Right. He's probably the last guy to star in a movie with Ben Affleck that was a worse actor. That kid, I mean, he was like,
there's a lot of caveats on that.
Oh man, like he.
Oh man,
you always do this.
Oh,
that's my favorite movie, though. I had a fucking.
I do like that movie. Yeah,
I've still never seen the whole movie, Eric.
I know we talked about this. Yeah. Shaylee and I had a long discussion about this one time, and I was really disappointed. So we went to watch Dazed and Confused, and what happened? Shaylee fell asleep in the first 20 minutes, like he does.
Wow. But I remembered a lot of it.
It's a good one. Mm-hmm. I found another one on Hulu that I hate watched, like I did. Well, this one's a little different. I knew this one I was going to hate right away, but I was just in one of those moods, and I think there's like 6 episodes of it. And I think to start off, it's like they have 9. This family in Georgia has 9 children. They live on a 55-acre farm, and they're basically, their children know nothing about the outside world, but they don't take them to church. They make their own church rules and stuff. It's basically, the way I described it is that these people wanted to start a cult, but they didn't have the charisma to recruit people. So they just had a bunch of children and started a cult. And
some cults have started that way.
It's pretty interesting because the oldest one starts off right away. The oldest one gets married, and his girlfriend is also fucking like this, real religious type, but she fucking drank sodas and some normal things like that, and have watched movies and different things. So she corrupts him and gives him all this, here's a soda, here's a beer, here's wine. He's all fucking
he's partying.
And then all the young kids basically see a light at the end of their tunnel going, oh shit, we might be able to be free someday too, man. And the parents are, of course, control freaks and just lose their shit. It's a fucking hilarious thing to binge watch if you want to hate watch.
Wow, what's it called?
It's called Welcome to Plathville. The family is the Plaths, Plath, and it's called Welcome to Plathville. And
I'll watch that.
you really just start rooting for these kids. The kids are all pretty cool, and they're real respectful. They're just decent people, and you're like, fucking go, motherfuckers, go!
Yeah,
You're just
you can do it
for these kids.
It's like the Truman Show. You want him to fucking take the boat to the edge of the fucking set, climb up the steps. Yeah. Oh, there they are.
You mentioned I'm doing a daily here. You mentioned Dazed and Confused, and Bennett got it.
Hey, can you put your head on the other side of the cat so we can hear you?
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Huh?
What's that got to do with Dazed and Confused?
They are.
He's an old dude, and he fucking just woke up and staggered out from underneath the bench he's been under all day.
Oh,
It's funny because he was just
What
telling
that
his
has to do
cat
with the movie.
friends he was talking about you in the same way.
He didn't mix.
Yeah, his cat's telling the other cats about how he fucking shits everywhere.
Don't worry about him.
Puts the hose up his own ass. He's a
I
fucking
hit the
crazy
bolts.
man.
I hit the bolts. He won't be shooting shit.
I do have some sand down there that I could shit in and bury it, but I hadn't come to that.
Andy's regressing to be a cat.
It would be great if that happened. You became the leader of the neighborhood cats.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. Oh,
I
that
realized-
would be scary.
I realized as I was nude in the yard sunbathing for 3 hours listening to Casey Kasem's countdown from 1983 that I was regressing some. Yeah, I did feel like, wow, in 1983, what was I doing? Laying on a lawn
season
chair.
9 of Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, laying there thinking, wow, Little House is really fucked up, man. People are fucking dying there, and people are going blind and on drugs and shit. And I'm supposed to be a good person. Yeah, I think I was just tailing away from Jesus about 1982, 83. Yeah, starting to get out.
Yeah, that's when we started. We were getting into high school, man. You know, that's when everything
I was a
changed.
junior in high school.
Yeah, everything fucking changed right then. You know.
I'm damn a lot younger than you motherfuckers.
Yeah, you're a pup. It is like that. There's that line in Dazed and Confused, though, when those 3 kids you just showed her, they're at the 8th grade dance, and they want to leave and take off, and then the one kid's like, he's like, oh, I was getting some tit or something like that with the girl, and they're like the blonde kid on the right, as we're looking at it, was like, forget it, man. We're in high school now, man. It's like we're going where all the chicks are going to be putting out. It's like, yeah. Remember when you used to think that like going into high school was really going to be like the event that made you the cool hip ass adult you were going to be for the rest of your life.
I remember just wanting to get drunk. Like I was desperate. I was like, if I could have, I'd already, been into the sex a little against my will.
Oh, you've been hypersexualized already. You want to get? You should have been in the theater group. You want to get so far away.
I don't know that I was a lightweight, but the drinks he made, maybe it was the bartender, but the drinks he made, I was just passed out and blacked out or whatever. So I never really
think that was certainly part of what he was going for.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah. So then when I got drunk, the first time I got drunk, I went to my friend Mitch's cousin's place, Steve Hall's house, and they had a German Shepherd. They said, don't mess with it. And I think I told you this, right? That I don't remember.
Did you mess with it, Andy?
Yeah, I messed with it. I don't remember messing with it.
Someone said don't, so Andy does exactly what he's not supposed to do.
And then I heard. I basically kind of did the same thing where I just kind of got blackout. But at some point, I put a football jersey on that dog. Didn't get bit. Nobody could figure out how that happened. And I was, at some point was sitting naked with his Steve Hall's folks. Came in late, and I just sat there and watched TV with them naked, and they seemed to think it was funny that I was being funny with them.
Completely naked?
Yeah, like at somewhere probably.
The dog was wearing his clothes.
Yeah. Well, it's a weird kind of pattern setting thing because it was like the first time I drank without adult supervision. I got naked and wrestled the dog.
Reverted to
and
your
then
old
I took $100 off of somebody's nightstand because I would always get paid $100 for my visits. So yeah,
it was a muscle memory.
Like somebody was like, "Hey man, there's $100 bill that was here," and then I was in my pocket. And then I was like, found out I put it's like, how did you get bit by the dog? Because you put the jersey on that dog, and they were taking it off of the dog the next day, and it was putting up a fight then. So I can't imagine how any of that shit went down, But so I knew that was my sophomore year, and I knew I wasn't gonna enjoy alcohol for a life.
Hello, new friend.
BFF.
I'm a little bit concerned about Steve Hill's parents sitting with an obviously blackout drunk sophomore in high school who was completely naked, and then just
Yeah.
being like, "Well, that's
Maybe-
funny."
Maybe they
Yeah,
saw the
it's
dog and
funny.
they were maybe they saw
Funny.
the dog and decided not to fuck with me.
Yeah, I guess.
Or they
He's a
realized I
dog
would just
whisperer.
steal stuff when I did connect with my pants. So
This is the first time the dog didn't bark at me when we came home. Just be quiet, honey. I think this boy's got he's the
Yeah.
new Caesar Milan.
Yeah.
it had I saw a guy a TikTok talk. It said some angry dude at a Walmart tried to throw a cart, and he was but the dog had one leg that wasn't in proper, so
Wait,
it wasn't a good situation for the dog. You know, it wasn't
Where's the
running
dog
around.
in the
The guys,
didn't-
wait, I lost
didn't
you.
put
What,
it
why
on
is,
the-
Erickson,
It
can
has-
you
There's a
translate
dog.
this for
no,
me
I
in
don't
chat?
got this one. I don't got
Well,
this
I
one.
put
I
the
don't
dog-
have it either.
the dog wasn't in the jersey like if you had
Oh.
you know, like it was fucked up, like a leg was kind of pinned.
You
and-
just got it kind of on him.
I
You didn't
guess,
have.
yes.
He wasn't
So
air
maybe that-
bud. He wasn't going to be
probably
able to legally
that-
go
Yeah,
into the
yeah,
game and catch a pass.
Well, I'm thinking
If
that's
he was a
probably why I didn't.
golden, he would be able to handle it.
I
But
might
a
have
German
stumbled on
Shepherd,
him
they're
while-
temperamental.
I might have stumbled on him, and it was like, you know, like it thought it was I was a kid and gave me a break, and then gave me just enough time to trap its arm so it couldn't really come after me.
yeah.
So it was that kind of dog, like you wanted to run
What was
grid,
it?
and it was pinned down, and that's when, you know, the whole evening unfolded. I was like really hungover, and it was like, I didn't steal your money. It's like
I
it's
didn't
like-
touch your wallet.
easily, yeah, and I didn't know about the nude thing for weeks, and then I found out about that the next time I was over there. So like, you're not gonna, you know.
Wait, that just hit me. He was nude in front of the parents?
Yes. Totally
Yes.
nude.
I got naked
I-
on my own right.
when-
you know.
When I was a kid,
it's the parents' fault.
When
I also
kids' parents
smoked weed
came
at that
home,
party, too.
everybody ran away
Yeah.
and left.
Out
Yeah.
of there.
And
And-
he gets naked and sits with them on the couch, and it's cool. I don't understand this.
Yeah, yeah, it was a, you know, and it wasn't a paying
Rolls a
gig either.
cigarette. He's like,
Yeah, it
Mr.
wasn't-
fucking cool. He's got a beret on, and he's rolling a cigarette, and he asks like where they met. And he starts getting really inappropriate with the husband, not the wife, the husband. He starts asking,
Yeah.
so you like tracksuits?
Yeah.
Well, I'd seen some porno, so I figured they were swingers.
They certainly had a bead
Yeah,
on you.
they
Maybe
probably
get the
were.
ball rolling out there in Fairview, you know. It's like, I'm come from the San Francisco Bay Area where I did a little partying. Let me just throw a couple of teen magazines down so you can.
Yeah, but this is the face you're looking at. When Andy's saying that, it's like his innocent, you know, cherubic.
I mean, just
Andy.
just that picture right there is inappropriate, wildly inappropriate.
No, Andy's probably got it. There
What,
were
that
probably
picture?
some pedos on the staff. There,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
I
sure.
mean, look
at least,
at that.
At least photographers.
Oh,
Look
man,
at that.
Yeah.
That is terrible.
Yeah.
But this is
Yeah.
this is Andy sitting on the couch, leaning forward to the parents, going like, "So, like, what'd you pay for this place?"
Hey, man.
Did a good deal?
Oh, man.
I got a realtor. I just don't know if you guys are ever interested in selling. I know a guy.
So,
Yeah.
sunken
Andy-
living room, huh? Sunken living room. Those are cool. I like this,
Shag
man.
carpet, that's the way to go. And
I gotta
orange
tell
and
you, I
brown,
like what you've
there's
done
no
with the
better-
place.
Avocado
Yeah.
would accent this orange and
Yeah.
brown shag carpeting perfectly.
Yeah. The shag really soaks up a lot of noise, if you know what I'm talking about. Very
Hey, you guys
safe
got
down
any Marilyn
As he-
Chambers
As
movies?
he's staring straight at the husband.
Yeah. Fucking Coquille was wild, bro.
Fuck, man.
If
Yeah,
Andy,
that was
if
the
Andy
first
would have
time I
frozen
smoked
the
weed, too.
grandparents and put them in a closet, it would be the same plot as the movie Weird Science. That's how fucking strange Andy's goddamn
Yeah.
stories.
What, you mean I would hatch out a grandparent instead of a hooker? Grandpa'd come out and go, hey. I can think of Sean Rouse used to call himself Grandpa, or not, you know, towards the bitter end. I
Yeah.
think he knew his time
I
was up.
see
He'd
that.
never
Yeah.
get to be a creepy grandpa, so he jumped the gun.
And that
Andy,
would have been his best
Andy's
time too.
Yeah.
Andy's putting jock straps on his big gym dolls and hooking them up to car batteries, trying to fucking make them big gym.
Yeah, I don't remember playing with those guys after I came back from California
I
much.
bet not.
Yeah, they lost their joy. You know,
Really?
it's like, wait, I'm just gonna take their pants off and then what?
I don't. But you were probably like, I can't do it. I don't have $100 to give each of them.
You each get 100,
This is wiping me out.
and Big
Yeah.
Jack, you get 75. Just be lucky I gave you that work, Jack.
I come into a lot of scrutiny just by hiring you. This is
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah, I'm doing you a favor, Jack.
Racism and pedophilia.
Well, I've been
Here's to the
visiting
podcast.
that Death Valley
So
show.
funny.
There's a lot of weird racism on that show. It's
I
just-
want to
That
see
was
that.
great.
I want to see more of that show too.
There's one
I have
where
to do a deep
there was-
dive onto that.
there's a guy who robbed a bunch of places, and he even robbed the stagecoach when the guy knew he was going to rob the stagecoach, but he disguised himself as an Indian, basically by rubbing dirt on his face and putting a feather in a big hat. And, And then
All
it's
checks
like,
out.
uh,
Must have been
yeah,
Indians.
basically the sheriff's
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna have to fucking retire because they got robbed in the thing. And he goes, wait. He goes, and then he goes, I know where I'll find him. You wait till tomorrow before you get my badge or some shit like that. And then he went to this place and he found the fucking guy right where he knew he'd be. And he goes, I knew it. He goes, you posed as an Indian, and I knew this was the only place with red sand anywhere near here.
What?
So he used red dirt or red sand.
That's how he made himself a
that was the
redskin.
makeup?
Yeah, like he
That
goes,
was-
oh,
Like red clay on his
Yeah.
face, and he
Yeah.
fooled everyone except this one smart guy.
uh-huh.
Forensic filed where the red sand came from.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and then I saw one where there was a white maid who posed as an Indian woman, or she was an Indian woman, you know, in the character, and she talked like fucking made Tonto look like he was a smooth fucking orator. Fuck it, god damn it, fuck that up. But you remember Tonto? He'd like him go this
Yeah.
way, and she was the maid of the place, and she was like, "You sit down, you eat, you must." And they were like, "We don't want no savage as a maid." And she showed him.
We don't
that,
want
you
no
know,
savage as
oh,
a man.
she was a savage good cook.
I bet she was a savage in the sack too.
Oh yeah, but it was just like, you know, you look at the actresses and it's like, you know, it's a white woman. She's like, you can see
Yeah.
the white.
Well,
white
it's like it's Mitchell and I were just talking the other night about how great Team America World Police is,
Mhm.
and how
The
that just that
marionettes?
movie that just holds up on comedy. Like it's
Watch
still pee your pants funny all the way through. But one of the things we just watched it early on in the pandemic, we rewatched it, but I'd forgotten how funny it was when the fucking main actor character goes to infiltrate the terrorist cell, and he looked to look like to look like an Arab. He just like glues a couple of splotches of hair just into random spots on his face for a beard, and they're like, it totally fools everyone, you know, like absolutely good enough.
Damn,
Fucking
that's some
hilarious.
fine acting. My
That's
favorite
some
line
good
in that
acting,
movie
Gary.
is when he when Gary sucks him off to prove his loyalty.
Yeah.
And he
Now
goes,
suck my
damn,
dick.
you are dedicated.
The greatest thing about that movie is
God,
when
that
they
was good.
talk about Trey Parker, Matt Stone, is like early on they realized this is fucking impossible, and they committed to the bit all the way to the end because marionettes is probably worse than working with children and animals.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and they just this was the wrong thing, and they did it.
Well,
Yeah.
in season 10 of Little House on the Prairie, Mr. Edwards takes marionettes on the road with an orangutan and a
The
wild
orangutans
puppeteer.
working the marionettes.
Yeah, it's a spin-off show. Mr. Edwards is a bear.
My favorite joke of Team America was the opening scene, because it only works the first time you see it. But the opening scene, if you remember, is marionettes, but they're really shitty. And it's like, it's a French guy, and he's like going, oh, and like it's like you're looking at it, and you're like, oh my god, is this what this movie is going to be? Are you fucking kidding me?
God,
And then the
set
camera
stage.
pulls back, and it's one of the marionette characters doing a little street show, and then you're in the city, and it was just like that setup. But the first time you see it, you're like, oh, you're gonna go watch Trey Parker and Matt Stone do puppets. They're not good at puppets. And then the very first thing you see is that. God, I remember when the camera pulled back and I realized I'd fallen for the joke right away. I was like, oh, this is gonna be fucking great.
And then minutes later, Ferra Jacques.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Exactly.
I've been watching that movie at least once a week, and then Fury Road almost every night.
What movie are you watching?
Team America every night.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Or once a week.
Oh, wow.
Because it's just I can walk out of the room.
Oh,
Chad.
I haven't either. I've seen parts of it.
Oh my God, you guys! Oh my
Erickson
God.
just ruined the opening for both of us.
Yeah,
Chad.
sorry. Well, spoiler alert! It came out 15 years ago.
I think you're allowed to spoil movies if they're fucking 20 years old.
I feel like it's got the best sex scene.
I don't think we have any claim on that.
Right? Don't you think that's the
I agree.
best sex scene?
The sex scene is
all right. I'm in. All
right, I'll watch it.
Puppets fucking? Yeah, I'm in.
Oh boy, yeah.
Yeah. No, the puppet fucking is the best. I've learned a thing or two by watching them puppets.
Yeah.
Like reverse pile driver.
Yeah, right.
Hey, Andy,
like your wife thinks you've been cheating on her. Like, where'd you learn this new move? Puppet movie.
Puppets, man. My puppet move.
Chad,
I got a movie recommendation for you, Andy. Since you like the ones where white people appropriate Indian roles.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite westerns is Steve McQueen plays a half Indian guy.
Oh yeah,
Nevada Smith.
Okay. It's called Nevada Smith.
He's Nevada Smith. Steve McQueen is a fucking kid in this movie, but it's really a good western. If you like westerns, I mean, it's fucking cheesy, but it's good.
He was awesome, man. I fucking love Steve McQueen.
Yeah. Remember that book, Black Like Me?
Yeah.
I think we talked about that with the guy who played the guy who hung himself in Shawshank Redemption. Brooksy.
The old guy.
He played in kind of blackface.
Who had the bird. He had the bird.
Yeah. He was a writer and he wanted to experience Black America, so he went blackface all around. And then, so I never read the book, but I saw the movie stills from the movie, and they're hilarious. It's like, whatever discrimination he thought he felt was probably some like, what the fuck is this guy doing here?
I don't know. I guess I went around as a black guy, and I got to say it's tough. Everyone's constantly laughing at you and pointing.
I got booked for a lot of comedy gigs, though.
Yeah. There's a lot of
John Howard Griffin.
Racism. John Howard Griffin.
Is that the actor?
Yeah, it's the guy. I actually read that book.
Yeah. It was like Jonathan Livingston Seagull, one of them books of that era that everybody had on their fucking coffee table. I didn't read either of them.
I think he used iodine to darken his skin, which is what bodybuilders use to give them a darker tan. They'll coat their body with iodine and wipe it off, and that's what they do. And with my gal, she had to be wrapped in cellophane as well, but that's a different thing. But yeah, he used iodine to tint his skin enough to go in, and he actually went out and did. Like, he lived a life for a while as a black guy, but being completely white. And then C. Thomas Howell had a movie called Black Like Me.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Ruined everything this guy did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought it was called Soul Man.
Soul Man, yeah.
Soul Man.
It was Black Like Me, basically, but with, like, slapstick.
It's got to be
the jokes write themselves for that, too.
Yeah.
I can't. I think even as a young child who didn't understand anything about this, I think I remember seeing Soul Man and like going, "Really? That? Like, are you doing that?
Yeah,
that's not a thing."
It's got to be embarrassing to have your career be so done and so far in the toilet that you can't even get canceled for doing literally a movie in blackface. But nobody cares because Thomas
No one
Howell's
even
career
cares the black
canceled
white-
itself.
That must have been after Red Dawn.
I wonder if Jason
man,
Bateman
look
thinks
at
about
that.
it and feels better about Teen Wolf 2. Oh, and at
Yeah,
least
yeah.
I didn't do Soul
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I
I
might have
passed
done
on
Yeah.
Soul
Wolf
Man.
2.
Yeah,
Cut me
that
off,
was
right?
speciesist, but it wasn't racist.
Right.
No
Yeah,
one
Michael
in the
J.
black
Michael J.
guys-
Fox did make me want to adopt a pet.
What?
And that when Michael J. Fox was the original.
When he was Teen Wolf,
Yeah, I was like, I want one of
you
them.
wanted a dog that would surf on top of your van.
Michael J. Fox was the coolest cat on the
It
scene
does.
at that point.
It does check out because you got drunk. First time you got drunk, you tried to dress the dog in human clothes. So
Right? Yeah.
He wanted a hairy friend to play basketball with. That's all he wanted.
Has anyone noticed that Andy has shoehorned Teen Wolf into this thing like no fewer than 3 times into this podcast?
I don't know. I don't
brought it
prepare
up
by
last time,
watching
but only
Teen Wolf.
because Andy brought it up before.
Some of the best basketball fucking action in a movie ever.
it is
in
that
Teen
basketball
Wolf. It's so
playing
fucking
scene.
dumb.
Yeah.
It's absolutely classic.
Yeah.
It's some of the funniest shit you've ever seen.
Yeah.
That he just is a fucking beast in the fucking basketball.
And that is
I
one of
like
the
that movie.
one
I
of the
don't know.
ugliest.
It's a good movie.
Oh, it's a good movie,
Sure
but
it
isn't that
is.
the fat guy in that is one of the ugliest fat kid actors?
Yeah,
He's like a teenager.
Isn't
an
that the
adult, maybe.
is that the guy from the Pee Wee Herman movie too?
I don't know. He's like
think it is.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm looking.
Pee Wee's his nemesis in who's trying to who steals his bike from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm
I
surprised
think
he
that's the
wasn't.
same guy. I think, but again,
He should be in more.
if you've watched this show before, you know I thought Delroy Lindo was the guy from Ghostbusters. So
I thought Ben
Yeah.
Franklin was on Mount Rushmore. So yeah.
Ben Franklin.
Last
man.
week, Andy thought AC Green gave him a push, and it was just some homeless guy.
Anal Charlie. Hey,
like when I
he's
thought
just
when
a
I
really
was young,
tall
I
junkie.
thought all the black guys in the world were on the Harlem Globetrotters. That's how white of a town I grew up
They
in.
were.
Yeah, no, I did the same thing, man. I'd go around asking for autographs from guys in
I bet
Portland.
too.
He's like, "Go fuck yourself, kid." I guess Metallark doesn't want to be bothered
You're
right.
right. Dude, you're right.
Yeah, look at that kid.
That's the fat guy in the background.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so ridiculous. Like he'd be
Well, this
an
is-
ugly fat kid in a classroom, but you put him in an undersized jersey and short shorts, and it's like,
Uh-huh. And also the
He's
best
the
part about this
enforcer.
game is they're playing for like the state championship or whatever, right? But
Yeah.
only because Teen Wolf is such a fucking badass at basketball. But here's the thing: no matter how good, you could have LeBron James on your team, and if that guy 55 is also playing on your team, you're
not
still gonna
winning.
get your ass handed
Yeah,
to
you're not winning.
you. He couldn't.
You might.
He
You
could
might put some,
barely
You might.
walk
might-
down the court without falling down. And yeah, it was.
I don't
it
think
was
if you were,
if you-
I don't, if
It's
you were
so
playing
funny.
football for the state championship and he was the pulling guard, I think you would go with the other direction for your
Yes.
game-winning play.
Yeah.
Like, oh, so
look at this guy's face right here. That is not just even the height. That is not
You know,
Michael J.
that's-
Fox. That is clearly a black man in whiteface in fur.
yeah, we should
For-
find out who that is. It's one of the Globetrotters.
It's AC Green, dude. That's AC Green right there.
Yes.
Phil
Wait-
Lampier.
Wait
Bill
until
Lampier
Twitter
was a
finds out
police
that they
actor.
dressed a black guy up in that fucking costume.
Yeah.
Teen Wolf is
And
getting
then furred him.
canceled.
Yeah.
They
That
furred
is
him.
horrible.
Well, can you like all these years later, and then those Geico commercials came out, and they're like, that guy's upset because people are discriminating against him because he's a caveman.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right,
I love this
Let's wrap
experiment,
this.
guys.
put a bow tie on
Love it.
this. I like it at night better. I wonder if it is a different viewing experience for people. I guess I don't know.
I
It's
think
a lifestyle
whole different
improvement.
vibe, yeah.
You
I
know,
hope so.
don't drink
I
it,
hope
and
it
then-
is. I hope it's better. It's more fun to make it this way.
I hope it works with Chad's Twitter.
Yeah,
Or
which
Twitch. Sorry, Twitch. Shit.
which
No,
you can subscribe to by going to his Twitter account at HDFatty and seeing the link there. What you do then is you click on that, and you can immediately subscribe to Chad's Twitch channel where he plays video games and hangs out, gets drunk, and gets high, and he talks about politics for hours and hours on end.
Endlessly.
With some
why
of Bisbee's.
I stopped listening to Anderson Cooper and I went right to
And when
Chad.
you think about when you think about some of Bisbee's most wizened political minds with him on this, I mean, there are really some. I'm sure the deepest of political discussions happening on this live stream. So definitely subscribe to it.
It really is.
Hey, look who's here!
You talk about politics
Wow.
a lot.
Hey, Andy just got talented.
Don't play yet. Give Andy's plug and then our Patreon plug.
Oh, and there, right there, is Andy Andrus' Venmo address, and a PO box where you can send things to Andy that aren't explosive. Just send nice little knick-knack gifts and money. Venmo him money, and then he'll buy more shit. Okay. He'll buy more shit, and he'll put it in the on the hill behind, and you'll be able to look at stuff to send him. It's very exciting.
I paid for that.
And what we're gonna do is go over to Patreon and make another drink and finish this off with a little chilled out, relaxed, as if this hour isn't relaxed enough. We're gonna go relax for another little bit over on Patreon, and you can join us there by subscribing. It's only $5 a month, and you get tons and tons of content. And now it looks to me like our buddy is here to play us out. Andy, do you want to give an introduction? Where did Andy go? Did he leave?
I thought that was Andy.
He's holding Gary Busey behind me.
Okay.
Wait, where?
Yeah, we can't see him.
Oh, Andy's too high in the shot. He's got to come in front of the wagon.
Damn it,
this all works so well in rehearsal.
I'm gonna. I don't want to get the name wrong
Andy stood in front of the wagon and held it over his head.
I'm a little. James, I'm gonna say James Frost win. Did I get it right? See, I was 90% sure, but I'm pretty drunk and high right now, and I got absolutely no warning that you were going to be around. So I mean, this is like, imagine if you have to introduce somebody who you know, but you're not from Eugene, Oregon. So it's a nice, beautiful, wonderful surprise that you're there. But so it's a surprise for everybody, man. It's good to see you. You can play us out.
Good to see you guys. Yeah.
Right on, man. All right. We love you guys. Thanks for subscribing. Tell your friends, and we'll see you on the other side.
Well, look what they put in the news today. The man's getting married, and I fucked that whole song up already. It's my song, too. Well, look what they put in the news today. The man's getting married, and God, he's gay, and the whole country is outraged. Go on and turn the page down to section 3, a little place far away from you and me. Well, it was flooded, and thousands of people died. Where are your priorities? Domestic affairs or overseas? A war on drugs? God help me, please. Cause this American bullshit is easy to whiff as they drive a Chevrolet off a fiscal cliff, and then they'll give you food stamps and call it a gift. And Monsanto modify your holy water, and then they'll copyright your great-granddaughter. But an eye for an iPhone will leave the whole world blind. The Steve Jobs rate declines and the country cries, while the government, church, and the media lies and says an Apple product a day will keep the doctor at bay. Go on, spend your lives wrapped in fear. Remember that your president is always here, unless he's in Manhattan, if that's where he's really from. Make a case, act kind towards your fellow man, and leave no child behind, only if you can, but make sure they're armed before your guns get banned. This American dream is heard best asleep, so lay your head down and pray your soul to keep. But don't disobey, cause they might put you away. And if they're putting kids in cages, who knows what they might do to you. Am I right, folks? Well, look what they put in the news today. Another man's getting married, and oh God, he's gay, and the whole damn country is outraged.